Okay, so today is May 28th, 2012. Doing my community interview with my cousin Jose Valerio. So, before we start, is it okay if I record this entire interview?
Yes.
Okay, so he's asked to not be shown on film, so I'm just gonna read out loud the questions and he's gonna answer them. So, in your opinion, what's like the most important um, subject matter that you're gonna have to study in order to become a psychologist? So, like, what's the most important subject that you need to study when you get into college?
The basic and advanced psychology classes.
Is there anything else?
Uh, Sociology classes will be helpful, and definitely social work classes since they all work together.
Okay, it's interesting to hear. So, taking all these classes, how is that gonna prepare me for my to be a psychologist? Taking these classes, how is that gonna prepare me?
It will give you a different understanding of how different majors that work together have like the different opinions they have on a certain, you know,
A certain level.
yeah, like a certain, let's say, certain matter. You know, you have to take different approaches so you have a better understanding of how social work is seeing one problem, how a sociology major is looking at the same problem, and then how a psychologist is looking at the same problem and find a solution for that problem through different perspectives. So different classes, if you actually go and take different classes, you get a different way of how people think. So when,
Different perspective.
yeah, different perspectives. So when you actually, you take a problem upon you, you kind of get a better,
Understanding.
better understanding and a better way of actually, trying to find a solution to the problem. Yeah.
Oh, so it gives you like options, like different choices, like a better method
Yeah.
than just sticking to the standard method.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. So, in your opinion, what makes that career more unique than all of the other careers, like social worker or criminologist or chiropractor? What makes a psychologist unique to all the other jobs in Los Angeles?
I think what makes it unique is that you're actually working with how people are thinking, how people actually see things. You're not really dealing with how you know a person is reacting to society. You're actually looking at the person and how the person is really thinking.
That's true. Great. So, how would you implement character education into this career?
Well, I think a person should really follow their code of ethics and not be judgmental. That's definitely, and be really willing to help. I think that's important.
Very cool. So, what method would you use? Like, if you're supposed to counsel a child, let's just say a child, and she won't open up to anybody, what kind of method would you be using in order to make this child open up and tell you what's going on, what's the issue?
Well, I think a good method to do is play therapy. You get what I'm gonna say. I mean, you're just playing with toys. You're not really being direct with the problem. You're just playing around, trying to get her to be comfortable, and eventually she'll open up. That'll be the best way, and you're not traumatizing her.
True. So, huh, do you think it's like okay? Do you think it's right for psychologists to treat patients with psychology, or do you think there's another method? Like, do you think it's like that? Do you think psychology is right? Generally, do you think it's right? Like, would you prefer psychology or would you prefer other methods like drugs?
Okay, well, I think therapy is more effective than you know, the drugs, the antidepressants, just the simple fact that when you're doing therapy, you're actually helping the person deal with, you know, face their fears or problems. And when you're giving them drugs, you're just giving them, you know, a little time for themselves to be, you know, on a different level. But you're not really working with their problems. You're just giving them like a gateway to just go and be lost for a couple hours. But their actual problems are not being solved. So I think therapy is better than using substance.
True. So, how do you usually express yourself when you're troubled? Like when you're angry or sad, or how do you control those emotions? How do you let go of them? Get that all out of your system.
Well, it all depends on how am I feeling. Let's say if I'm happy, I'm usually smiling. If I'm sad, I usually like to drive around, just be on my own level, and anything else, I just take it as it goes. Like different emotions for different, you know, situations.
Cool. So, what do you find is most interesting about a human being? Like an individual human being. What do you think is most interesting about them?
I think the most interesting part of a human being is their mind, you know, how they can actually create something out of nothing, you know, or improve something to something way better.
Do you want me to
You know what I mean? You can change all kinds of things. You know, a person can really use it. We got to do this over. Too many distractions. You know what I mean? We're doing good.
No, just keep going. It's okay. Just keep going. So you can start over, cause yeah. So what do you find most interesting about a human being?
What I find most interesting for a human being is their mind, you know? Like how a person can actually create something out of nothing, you know? For example, you know, technology. It started from something simple to now that we don't even know where it's going, you know? Everything's advancing so fast, you know, and somebody had to think about it. Sometimes they use their mind in order to create it. That's what I think is the most important part of it. You know, being a human being is a mind.
Oh. Well, I guess that's all my questions for right now. So thank you. Shake your hand right there. And yeah, thanks.